This is just me letting you know what you're about to walk into. This is a space where real conversations, stories, talking about pain. What up, though? Welcome to the Streets Don't Love Nobody podcast. It's your boy, Mr. Rain. And look who I got with me. My brother, Alexis Smith, aka Al, aka Out the Way Al. Listen, he had all these names when we was locked up, man. But it's an honor. I don't use the word brother loosely. I don't care if you know me from the streets or if you know me from prison. I do not use that word loosely. And I promise you, after we finish this interview, you will understand what I mean. Why this is my brother. What up, though, bro? You good?
What up, though? You already know, man. It's all good. It's all love over here, man.
That's
Appreciate
what's
you.
up, man. I'm glad to see you smiling. And I'm glad to see both of us smiling on camera and not on the other side looking through the window.
Woo!
And
Definitely is.
listen, man, you know where I want to start with this. You were sentenced to natural life. You was basically sentenced to death, man. Next thing I know, they say, hey, Al went home. I say, Al, when? I say, how did he do that? So I want to start right there. I want to take you back to that day you first heard that law change. Like, what what was you going through mentally? Like, how did that affect you? Take us there.
First of all, again, thank you for having me. The sentiments are the same here. You, my brother, forever. Brother from a different mother, all that. Well, honestly, I just say that I seen it coming. I have been preparing myself for it mentally, even before the moon and the stars and the sun aligned, as they may say. There were things that were taking place within the justice system to where I could possibly see it ending up being where it was and where it
Okay.
came to be. Yep, most all briefs, opinions, things of that nature. So I had started preparing years before this because the writing was on the wall. And I think you will confer this is that when we was waiting on this decision, I was explaining to everybody, look, this is what's happening. These are the pieces that are being moved. This judge they ran for judgeship, they lost, but the governor put them there. They're this kind of judge, so on and so forth. And I seen it lining up, so I was preparing myself mentally. And it
Yeah.
was all about just making sure that when my time came, I wouldn't have to do a day more than I needed to. And when that gavel dropped, man, my prosecutor from my county was one of the few that conceded, that didn't want to challenge anything. And I guess you could say the godmother of juvenile lifers, Mrs. Deborah LaBelle, reached out to me. And she said, hey, I don't want to step on nobody's toes if you've been represented or not, but I'm in contact with you guys, with your county prosecutor, and we might be able to make something happen for you right now, and send me everything you got. And I'm like, bet. This might have been like on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Friday, none of the admin stuff that came to work, but I was already ready. Again, I was preparing. I had already put together all my letters for support. I had already put together copies of my certificates. I already had everything I needed to do for this packet because I had talked to the first wave about what was expected of them. So I was prepared for that. I sent everything out to her, man, and what ended up happening was that he was so impressed with my record and what I had accomplished while incarcerated. I was the only person in my county to get a deal in my range, and that allowed me to be a year and a half past my out date after I was resentenced.
Like, woke up one day, you had natural life, got some news, and you had numbers. I always tell you that's a miracle. I've been getting a couple questions from people. I told a couple guys I was going to interview you, and a couple of them asked me this question: was getting out harder than doing time in some ways? And if so, explain.
I would have to ask before I can answer that. When you say getting out, the struggles of getting out and moving through life, is
Yeah, I
that
say
what you're
like to the
referring to?
first day out, bam, in
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
next 90 days or maybe 6 months.
man. I'm gonna tell you something. No matter how hard it was, if it got to the point to where I had to sleep at a shelter,
And
is
going back.
nowhere in comparison to what I had to deal with, what we had to deal with on
Yeah,
the other
yeah,
side of that fence, man. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
would have rather slept in the shelter when I got out. So it was definitely much easier being out here because I have the ability to exercise my free will. You know what I mean? And
Yes, I
there,
got the ability to do that.
yeah, and there it's almost limited because you have a different set of rules. But out here in the what they call the free world, or as we refer to the real big yard, we're able to exercise our free will, man, and that's when you really see who is gonna put their best foot forward, man. Who gonna exercise that free will? Who really believes not only in themselves but who they are as an
Yeah,
individual.
I agree. What you think is one of the misperceptions of prison?
One of the one of the biggest misperceptions of prison is that everybody in there is your friend.
Yeah,
Today on social media, you see people in there with, they might have on street clothes, they might have on some J's and some buffs or any type of old glasses. You see them in there with different contraband, and it's like they just in there living their life. They just chilling.
yeah.
That's no different than reality TV.
So
Those are just moments in time. Those are the best moments in their time because what they're not showing is when they're being oppressed by not only custody staff but admin staff. They're
yeah,
not seeing how they're on lockdown and they're starved sometimes. They're not seeing when they're being treated so bad that is below what they would treat an animal or a dog, as you well know. You had to
yeah,
go through it yourself. So the misconception is that they're in there really living their life, and a prison bit ain't nothing. It's
yeah.
hard. It's hard, man.
Oh, they don't tell you that. I don't
Uh,
why get guys get out and just don't tell you like that thing is hard. You know what I'm saying? I remember watching when we was younger. What was that? Highway Patrol? What was that? It was something. Remember they used to always show like LA and we used to see people like jump off the freeway. I used to be like, man,
cops.
he
That
did
was
all that.
cops.
They say shit, he had 3 strikes. He didn't want to go back.
Yeah.
Listen, I understand.
Yes. He done been there too many times. He like, I know.
I understand. What's one of them lessons in prison that you learned that you wish you never had to learn there?
One of
Somebody
the biggest
else.
lessons that I had to learn in prison that I wish I didn't have to learn there is that anybody has the ability to turn on you at any time. And I say that is reflective of out here too, right? The difference is when you're inside, you're in closed quarters. There is no, I'm just going to leave this out of town. There is no, I'm just going to go to my house and chill.
Yeah,
You can't go nowhere but to your cell. You got to come up out that cell to go to the bathroom, to
gotta
go
do
to the
something.
child hall, to go to the yard, to get your bunkie space.
Boy,
You
he gonna
gotta
throw
come
you
up
out.
out of there. Yeah, you gotta come up out of there, man. That cell, man, and dealing with people, you just never know how they're wired and their morals and characters, man. That's what stuck out to me. Prison puts your morals and characters on display, who you
Mhm.
really are, because ain't no more hiding. Because you're in the lowest of the low point in life. The
Mhm.
only worse point than that is to be 6 feet under. So that's when your morals and characters shines or shows to be muddy, just like it
Like
is when it
whoever you
rains.
are, it enhance it.
It enhances it. Yeah.
Uh, if you're a pussy cat, you're gonna be a pussy.
Yeah.
If you're a shark, you'll be a
You're gonna be
shark.
a shark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't never look at it like that. So let's dig a little deeper. Who believed in you when you stopped believing in yourself? When we in
Wow.
there, we go through these phases, man, but it's always that one person. So who was
Wow,
that
that's
one
easy.
person that believed in you?
It's my mama.
For sure.
My mama has been my mama turned into my best friend, man. My mom used to be on my head when I was younger. Even
Amazing.
leading up to me going to prison, just ride me about different stuff. But as when I got incarcerated and I got to getting older, we turned into not just mother, son, but friends. We were
Mhm.
more open, honest. She was like, "You a man now, and I need to communicate these things to you as a man." And I began, and she was the only one in my family that accepted the fact that I was a man. Because
Yeah.
when I got on the phone with everybody else, they still tried to play me like I was little Alex.
Yeah.
And I had to
You
tell
ain't
people,
grew
"Hey,
up
man,
again.
yeah, I'm a grown man. You ain't got a lot of me. It doesn't matter. Just be real. You know what I mean?" So it was
Yeah.
my mother, man. She's that one and still is that one to me.
Yeah. I knew the answer to that question. It was just a setup so I can get to this point.
Um,
I did 22 years in prison. I lost my nephew. I lost my little brother Omar. I lost my mother. And I lost my son, a guy I raised when he was about what, 6 months to 4 years old before I got incarcerated. But I was with you when I lost my mother, and my mother was dealing with dementia. She thought teddy bears was like my child. She was feeding. She was just going through that phase, and I lost her with you. You know what I'm saying? So you was with me through that phase, and it helped a lot. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you know what I mean. You're my brother, so you know. But I wanted to ask, like, is it a way somehow being around me and what I experienced during COVID, losing my mother, telling you all the phases she's going through? Remember, we used to laugh and joke. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? With some of the stuff. And then to see that you come home and you know what I'm saying? This is something that you got to deal with. Do you think something, my experience, helped it, shaped it, enlightened it? Like, I just sit back and look at things. You know me, I always connect things. That's how I am. I think I'm like Iron Man or something. So,
right. Absolutely. One thing everybody that really knows you can keep them smiling, laughing. And a lot of the things that you used to talk to me about, I think about to this day.
yeah.
Even as far back as like you saying, her referring to, dolls as, your children or, feeding them. My mom has this bear here now. Literally, she calls him my little brother, and I ain't got no brothers by her. It's just me, and she be like, "This is your little brother." Or then one time she was like,
And you got to take
"This
them
one,"
with you.
and one time she said, "This is Alex." Thought the bear was me. You know what I mean? And I reflected back on some of the things that you told me, the experiences you was going through, and how you handled it. You just had to laugh it off, and you just was happy that your mother was just still there, talking, breathing with you. So that's how I take it now, man. I don't take offense to it. It is hard, of course, but I'm just thankful being here with her now.
Yeah, that's what's up. So when you see her now, what's something she does that still remind you of her, even as the dementia take hold?
Man, she called me. Her favorite line was, she don't say the Niggeri. She don't call you Nick. She call you a Negro. And that's her line. She be like, Negro, and she still call
Oh,
me that.
man. So
And
she
it,
got that down packed, huh?
every time she said it, it take me back to when I was a kid because that's what she used to call me. All right, now, Negro. That's the one thing it always just takes me back to when I was 5 or 6 years old. Every
Yeah,
time it comes out her mouth.
yeah. That's what's up, man. Shout out to the OG, man. I
So,
usually have her on my live, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, shout out to my TikTok squad. But yeah, let's get back to this interview.
no doubt.
Let's talk about this book, man. You are author, top seller. You know what I'm saying? You
That's
push
right.
me, huh? What is that book? What's the title of it?
It's called Mama, Does My Daddy Still Love Me?
Okay, that's what's up,
It's
y'all. You say where it's at?
Amazon and Barnes and Nobles, both. You can get it. You can get the ebook or paperback. It's available.
I got the ebook, y'all. I was slow. I thought I was one of the first people to get a copy, but I thought the ebook and the regular book was the same thing. So I ordered it, waited 2 weeks, said, "Where's my order at?" And they was like, "You got an ebook." So you just go into the but hey, it is what it is. But this what I want to start with on that book. It's something in there. I think it's page 21, 21, 31. It's under the subtitle Love is Not a Mistake.
Love is not a mistake.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's something under there that I read, and I just wanted you to, elaborate on it. It's a good way to start to talk about the book. It's a powerful piece to me.
Yeah. Love is not a mistake. The first sentence is love is often mistaken for weakness.
Hmm.
You and I both come from the same school of thought, and we're taught that love is the mother of all emotions.
Yeah.
Nothing that is original, nothing that precedes anything else can be weak. It's
Mhm.
impossible because it took strength in order to produce everything that comes from it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Societal norms will have you think, assume, or feel as though your love for someone um, can be used to bring you down, manipulate you, things of that nature. But it's all on us exercising that, again, free will, using that free will to recognize that love is not a weakness, instead, it's a strength. And we're going to use this strength to hold myself together as a woman. I'm going to hold myself together while I'm stomping this bit down with my loved one, with my husband, with my child's father, with my son, my grandson, my nephew, niece, whomever it is.
Yeah. So give us a quick synopsis of the book.
Well, the book is a guidebook. It is something that I put together for my mother, but I wanted to share it with the world. And it's for all the women who have children, husbands, child's father, and they're riding out a prison sentence, what I call refer to as a hidden sentence with their loved one. And in that time, a lot of times, especially people of the black, brown, and poor, white, and even upper class, do not know how anything about the system. You know, they say ignorance to the law is no excuse, but we never really know anything about the Constitution, case law, the difference between a cop versus detective, the role the judge plays, the games that they play, trying to catch each other up, even the importance of showing support and how to show different signs of support. We know nothing about that in our community. And this is just a guidebook to say when you walk in that road, here is a tool to help you navigate those difficult circumstances.
Mm. So how did writing the book become like a lifeline for you, especially while you was locked up?
It really all started when my mom came to visit me one day and she wasn't moving like she used to. She was moving slower. I had to help her up the stairs. I had to help her sit down and stand up. And I realized, my God, my mom is getting old and I'm
Yeah.
doing life. I'm not getting a day closer to getting out. I need to do something. What can I do? And I said, I'm just going to write my mom all the things that I wish that I could have told her to help her get through the situation without putting all that stress. Because mental stress can reflect your physical health. And
Yeah.
I felt deep down that a lot of the stuff that I put her through not just affected her mentally, but physically as well. So this is a book of healing, understanding, and love.
Yeah. I seen a few posters and videos, of course, because I'm going to repost them. You know how we do it. Of
Right.
you speaking at a college. What college was that, and what was that experience like?
I've spoken at Cooley Law School a few times, GVSU, Oakland University. Sometimes I'm speaking regarding a reentry because I'm a reentry specialist. Sometimes I'm speaking on attorney-client relationships. Sometimes I'm just speaking to the new generation of justice reform fighters, man, whether they're going to be attorneys, detectives, correction officers, judges, or even prosecutors. They really need to understand what they're getting themselves into and know that they are a reflection of this system and they're tasked with a duty, a responsibility. When you become an attorney, you don't just go to
Yes.
school and all of a sudden you got your JD, your justice degree, and now you're a lawyer. No, you have to pass the bar and then take an oath. You have to be sworn in. So you're obligated to uphold those morals and characteristics of
Yeah.
that office of officer of the court. And that's one of the big things I focus on when I talk to students.
So that's something you go in prisons too, don't you?
Yes, sir, I do. I'm able
So
to.
so what? Listen, you listen. I'm just scary, man. I don't trust certain people, man. I just think when
Right.
that door gonna close, I think they gonna be like, "Gotcha," and I'm be like, "Bitch." So, like, how did you mentally prepare, man, doing all that time, seeing all that you've seen to go back in there?
No matter what I did, I wasn't prepared. When I first walked in and went to the control center, where they get their gear from, they gave me a PPD, which is a personal protection device, a button you push if you're in trouble and need help. And they handed it to me, and I had a flashback, like, oh, I can't touch that. You go to the hole for even touching it, and they tried to hand it to me. I was
Mhm.
like, and they was like, no, you got to take it. And I had to remember, like, oh no, and then I didn't even feel comfortable taking it in. But I walked through that door and I heard it shut, and I'm not gonna lie, I tensed up. I didn't cringe, I tensed up. And I just had to remember, I'll be back. And what I focused on is our guys, all the
Yeah.
guys that we left behind.
Yeah.
That's who we grew up with.
Yeah.
That's who we know. That's who we close to. Yeah, we soldier with. Like, we don't know these people out here.
Oh, we don't. That's
We
crazy.
don't.
People don't
We know.
understand that. We've been
Yeah.
gone so long, man.
So every time I get a chance to go back inside, I go.
Yeah.
I don't care if I got to take a request a day off work. It is part of my job. I do. But if I'm doing it on a personal thing with my personal company with Finally Free Consultation, I will take a day off of work and I will go back in there and speak to the guys, man, and let them know what it looks like out here. Talk about reentry and the
Yeah.
pitfalls and the rumors surrounding it.
So by that being something that you've been doing lately, like what type of emotion or anxiety, most people that's about to make that transition to come to the world, what are they feeling? It's crazy I'm asking these questions because I just did 22 and got out. But I'm
Right.
thinking of people like juvenile lifers who were sentenced to death and then they laws change and they at a certain age and he's coming out. So it's like, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna tell them. So I'm saying, hey man,
Right.
I'm scared as hell, man. Like, hey, you know what I mean?
It,
So what emotion you think they mostly show?
the biggest one is disbelief.
Okay.
That's the biggest
Yeah,
one.
I get
You
you.
got to remember, they told you was gonna die in here. You were never getting out. You watching guys that when you first came to prison, and they've been in there maybe 20 years, 15 years,
Yeah,
20, 30 years later, they've been in there 40 years, 50 years. They went from being the yard jock, the yard dog, to they got a cane, they in wheelchairs, they got breathing machines,
yeah,
they getting pushed around.
that's
You
crazy.
watching people die in there. And in your mind, as much as you don't want to admit it, so that's how you know that this is what they have for you. This is what your future can look like. So when they come and say, hey, they finna let you go, as much as you want to go and much as you want to believe, it's still disbelief. Because I didn't believe it until they opened that door, that final door in the control center, and I walked out of there. And I still hair when I walked outside, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up because in my mind somebody was going to be reaching for me to say, "Hey, hold on, where you going?"
Hold on, wait a minute. Made a mistake.
Yeah,
That's deep, man. But yeah, so that's like I told you, man. We all got our own paths. You know, I always tell you, don't let them trick you. You know, I congratulate you. I tell you how proud I am of you. People do the same thing to me. And something that I see that's similar I want to speak on is it's hard for us to accept what is that? Praise. Like it's hard for
mm,
us to accept certain things. I don't know why, because I do it to you and I notice people do it to me and I see it like we kind of the same way. You know, it don't just be like a thank you, man. I appreciate it. It'd be like, oh, man, no, I'm proud of you. Oh, man, no, I ain't. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
my setup for this is to ask you, like, you know, when somebody tell you you like an inspiration to them or like a motivation to them, does it feel good or does it make you think of the pain that it took to become the person they see now?
Honestly, so I'm gonna kind of say neither. Of course, I love that I'm able to inspire.
Yeah,
That's great because I want. This is what I tell guys inside when I talk to them. I tell them, I say, I am you. I sat in that seat, but you don't have to be me. You can be better than me when you get
okay,
out. I've took it this far. This gives you the opportunity to take it further. One thing, the one person who I'm always going to look for, who I will not look for, but desire recognition from is my mother. That's whose recognition means the most to me in the world. That's why I go so hard because I know what I put her through. I know how she was judged and ridiculed for how she raised me and the decisions that I made,
for
and
sure.
they blamed her for it. And I always want my mama to just one day have that I told you so moment to say, look at my son.
She got
Look what he
that
doing
book.
now.
She
And
got
yeah,
that book. That's what it started off. Mama.
yeah, mama. And it's dedicated to her, but that's her having dementia, her not even knowing who I am. It's painful, but I have to also accept the silver lining that being me being here to be in here for her in these difficult times because it could be worse. I could still be sitting in there taking count.
Yeah, yeah. Could be me. Could just be in there and it happened and it's like, damn, what do I do? I ain't never been in a world without no mama. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
I'm telling you.
So what's next for you, man? What's the next big thing you got coming?
Actually, I'm kind of in talks with a company. We're working some details out, and some I even want to mention to you, but I want to do my research on them first. There is a big, huge book fair in Chicago, and it's like huge. I've, looked them up. They do it a few times a year all over the country. It's one in Chicago. It's a way we can preserve a couple spots, and I want to, get my stuff out there. I want to keep promoting my book. I do have another book in mind, but this is my baby. I this
That's
is
the
this is
baby, huh?
this is more than just a book.
Yeah,
This I look at this book like my mom. This is a
yeah,
part of her.
yeah,
So
I
I'm going
get
to
it.
continue to push this book and take it to wherever it can possibly go.
For sure. So you're gonna give the Streets Don't Love Nobody podcast an exclusive sneak peek on what the title of the second book is?
Yeah, the title of the second book is My First 10.
Mm, there y'all have it. Streets Don't Love Nobody podcast. We did it, mama. Anything is possible. Hey, listen, let me play this quick game with you. I got one more question, but I want to play this
Yeah,
quick game with you before I get you out of here, okay?
yeah.
I call this the cell door.
Hmm.
This the rule. You about to walk into prison for 20 years. You only can take one thing with you. Here's your options. One book, one album, one person to write you, and or one life lesson. And what will be the one thing you take with you if you walk into that door to do 20 years in prison after doing 20, knowing what you know now?
If meaning I have one person to write means they're going to be there consistently for 20 years to write, it would be that one person to write. And the reason being that I want to maintain that connection to society. I never want to turn into a person who has lost completely touch with
Yeah.
societal norms. Prison is an abnormal environment, and I don't want to. It's some guys we know, both know, it's guys in there that live that's really messed up, man. That prison bit like really, really messed them up, man.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to happen to me. I can get books, I can get this, but maintaining that human connection, having someone outside of that place to show me love in the aspect of they don't want anything from me. There's no trick to it. Ain't no mess with me. You can get back messing with me. Nah, it shouldn't be about getting back. Or you
That
just be a
sound
giver.
hustle, huh?
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, I'm
That's
just a
like
giver.
now talking about what's your angle?
And yeah, what's your angle, man? I'm just a
Yeah.
giver, and I deal with givers, man. And this is what we do. We show love. So definitely that would be the one thing I take on me, a person to write.
That's what's up, man. And finally, for people that's listening, watching this, what's one thing you hope they take away from your story, no matter where they at in life?
No matter what anyone says to you, no
Mm,
matter the circumstances, no matter how people view you, you determine your future.
yeah,
You do. Nobody else does. You do.
yeah. Y'all heard it here. Alexis Smith, aka Al, aka Out the Way Al.
Out
I
the way.
definitely appreciate you coming, man. It's a pleasure. This the
Oh, for
first
sure.
episode. Everybody give it up for the first episode. You know what I'm saying, man? We did it. Hey, before you leave, man, I want to tell you this. Since we is live on my podcast, I told you this story before. I think I told Hayes on live before, but yeah, man, when that little boy Raindrop committed suicide, man, I walked in that day room, Al, it was to the capacity. Like I never seen no day room that packed. I say, where am I gonna go? My bunkie in the room? I'm about to explode. I see you sitting there by yourself with your mask on. I say, damn, let me sit right here. So I sit right there with you. I look at you. I said, my son just killed himself. You said, what?
Yeah.
I say, that's this guy like 20, 22, 20. How old is he? He a baby. What the heck? Man, listen, I don't know what it was, but I just looked around that day room and Al will tell you, man, I broke down, like crying like a baby, sinking in the seat, somebody back touching my back. That's how close it is. But he bet not say nothing.
Yeah.
I wanted a guy to say, "Damn, man, see, Carlos, Chauncey, girl." I would have went, man. Listen, but I just want to thank you, man. You could have laughed at me. You could have used it against me. You could have done anything, but that's a moment that you can never take back, man. All them people I lost, all them people that left me for dead, man. I never cried. But that day, looking at you, thinking about it, and it just hit me, and I just couldn't stop it, man. But I just want to say I appreciate you, man. You my brother, man. I love you, man. I wish the best for you, man. We finna run it up.
For sure, man. It's love, man. You know what it is, man. I'm gonna tell
All
you
right.
something. When you was going through that moment, I knew, it was a moment, and I was looking at everybody that even looked at the table, walked past, and I gave them that look like, you keep it moving. Ain't nothing to see over here. Your services are not needed over here. Because I understood what you was going through. It was a moment, not an aspect of knowing what it feels like, but I understood my assignment at that
Yeah.
moment. and that was to allow you to release,
Yeah.
unbothered. I didn't need to say anything unless you said something to me. I needed you to have that moment, that peace, and I was gonna do whatever I needed to do to make sure you maintain that.
Yeah, because you could have hit me with the Rico. Come on, B. Guys get shot all the time, B. Put your skirt
Nah,
down, B. Damn, what's the odds of that? But yeah, man, I just wanted to thank you. You know what I'm saying? This is the first
man,
episode, and just you always being, I can't even say 100. 100 is just so watered down now. For you, just always been 1,000 with me, man. So I just know you the first guest, and I definitely appreciate you.
honor's all mine, man. You know what it is.
All right, keep pushing, man. Send the OG love.
Always, man.
Yeah, for sure.